Good morning, everyone. Let me start with a little story, if I may. A couple of days ago, I was catching up with my daughter, Sophie. What are you up to, Dad? What are you up to at the moment? I said, I'm preparing a presentation for our annual summit in Birmingham. It's a conference. All right. Do you really like conferences then, Dad? Aren't they a bit boring? No, I said, not at all. This is a chance to get together with lots of our customers for the first time in a long time and to meet up with potentially new customers. We're going to be discussing innovation this time. That's all about new ideas, new inventions, improving things in order to help people. So it couldn't be more interesting. So here we are again at the Vox. And as I said to my daughter, I'm delighted to be opening this event again today. Such a pleasure to welcome you all back for the first live summit in 3 years. It actually feels like 3 years to me, by the way, although I was talking to colleagues back in the office, they said it had gone quickly. I think a lot has happened. And it's great to share that experience with you in person. Thank you to all of our customers and partners for coming. I recognize some familiar faces in the audience, so thanks for being here. But I also see some new faces. So a warm welcome to you also. I'm going to be spending the next couple of days at the conference. I'd like to meet as many of you as I possibly can. As always, at events like this, I like to offer my thanks to our existing partners and customers. Thank you for your continued partnership, especially during tough times. We wouldn't be here without you, and we are deeply grateful. Now, this is your summit, and this year it's dedicated to a major celebration of innovation. Let me start by asking you all a question. What customer dilemma does your organization exist to resolve? I'll say that again. What customer dilemma does your organization exist to resolve? Please think about that for a moment. I'm not talking about the survival or success of your organization. I'm speaking about its raison d'etre in terms of the customers you serve and their burning issues. See, all organizations, whether they know it or not, exist to resolve other people's dilemmas, although all too often they become obsessed with their own. I'm going to come back to that point in the next few minutes. As I said, this event is all about innovation, but not innovation for its own sake. Innovation in order to realize true business transformation. Now, innovations most often involve sudden changes, sparks of creativity, rethinking or reimagining existing business processes or products, for example. But transformation, on the other hand, doesn't happen so quickly. Often involves a process, a new process, and it means moving from one state to another, and that takes time. So transformation is usually the ongoing process that happens in the world after innovation takes place. So innovation can lead to transformation, and most often it does, but in other cases, transformation leads to innovation. There's a causal mutuality about it. And by the way, when I talk about transformation, I'm not talking about mere digital transformation or automation. I'm speaking about altering the entire mindset and behavior of the people in your organization. Or let me say, instead of altering, which sounds a bit coercive, empowering and enabling those people. And what is it that we're mostly here to enable? What do human beings do for a living? No matter what they work at, they make decisions. The human being is a decision-making animal, but the way we make decisions is changing more rapidly than ever before in history. And why? It's not because of the technology. Technology is the medium, but it's not the why. Decisions are changing because the intensity of making them has been magnified out of all proportion. Research suggests that the average adult human now makes around 35,000 decisions every day. That's 35,000 decisions every day. So however many people in your organization, multiply that by 35,000 to get an accurate picture of the scale of the challenge for all of us. Let's take a look at that word decision. We often use it without really thinking about it. A decision, it's not a process. It's not a routine. It doesn't equate to guesswork or precedent or groupthink. A real decision is what the word actually means in the original Latin. To decide means to cut away. A decision is not what you choose to do, it's what you choose to leave out. To decide literally means to deselect what you don't need. As Peter Drucker once said, strategy is knowing what not to do. But it's the decision intensity that I spoke about earlier that binds us all together in this room. We're all in the same business. needing to know in near real time what to leave out, and by a process of elimination, what to leave on the table. And it's not only the faster, better, cheaper decisions, but different decisions, decisions enabling us to answer better questions. And in each of your organizations, increasingly, it means enabling your customers and your patients to make their own decisions. And in order to do that, you have to innovate. Now, the image you see here is a form of Newton's cradle. It used to be very popular as executive desktop toys back in the sort of 80s and 90s, I remember them, suspended with metal balls. In fact, Mike Fuller has one in his office. I hope you don't mind me saying that, Mike. It represents the physics principle of the conversion of momentum. And it reminds me that innovation that we provide with our platforms and health solutions are most valuable when we add energy to your innovations. Does anyone remember the story I told years ago at an event like this about collaborative innovation in the context of Elon Musk? So 7 years ago. That was about the success of collaborative innovation, and I referenced partners that he had acquired like Panasonic, who had set up battery factories to facilitate electric vehicles becoming a thing of reality. Elon Musk is now the richest man in the world, so obviously that collaborative innovation worked. By the way, the idea on the slide behind me is not that the light bulbs crash into each other and explode, but rather that one innovation leads to another, and eventually all the light bulbs light up. Just like Newton's cradle, the energy keeps moving, keeps on being exchanged, one innovation providing energy for another, and so the process goes on. Now, innovation is not just about fixing things. It's complex, it's difficult. It's often about reinvention. It requires thinking outside the box. And just to evidence this, we surveyed business leaders across the various business sectors that we work in: healthcare, financial services, supply chain, and education, both in the UK and Ireland. And these were the headline findings. Almost 3/4 of the respondents believe innovation is vital to their survival. But the road to innovation is paved with good intentions. And according to the survey, many companies don't innovate for the following key reasons. Just over a third said they were hampered by budget constraints, i.e. the cost of innovating. Another third talked about lacking the right skills to do it. And the result was only 11% of companies said they've reached their current digital transformation goals. Interestingly, in the context of this summit, and bearing in mind that we're all dealing in data, when folks were asked how innovation initiatives could be improved, greater than 50% of respondents said getting access to real-time data would be the most important enabler to achieving their business transformation goals. There are, though, organizations who put innovation at the top of their agenda. And one of our clients said to us recently, and I quote, "Innovation plays a huge part in what we do, and it's what drives change across our business. It's not just keeping up with the evolving customer demands and market volatility, but we have to do it to stay ahead of the competition, not just to survive, but to thrive. And to do that, we have to innovate. And if we innovate, we can transform." A few minutes ago, I said that organizations all too often become obsessed with their own decisions, their own survival. But what transformation really means is that you turn the enterprise inside out. What was once the outside of the organization, the world of customers, clients, and patients, becomes the new heart and soul. Transformation is not just about improvement. It's about the radical enablement of wholly different kinds of decisions that weren't previously possible. The original Latin word data means given. Decisions across all business sectors can be better, not only because of the technology or the data, but they are the givens. It's what you imagine beyond what's given, what really counts. The true decision maker transforms what is given into what can be imagined. I'll give you an example. A couple of years ago, we were working on a project with Banco do Brasil in South America. We asked them the same question: what customer problem are you trying to solve? They told us they'd been approached by citizens wanting to secure a loan or open a bank account with them, but these were not only new customers to the bank, these were new customers to any bank, customers who in many cases never had a bank account before in their lives. So trying to get an accurate assessment on their creditworthiness was a major challenge. To do this, the bank needed to completely transform its credit lending service. Using the InterSystems Iris data platform, we enabled them to connect to a number of external systems, new data sources, securely, so they could analyze the likely credit risk scores in near real time. This innovation's allowed them to transform the business. Now they can provide an easy onboarding experience and manage the credit risk within the necessary regulatory rules. They've opened up a brand new market by acquiring customers and offering them the benefits of services they've never had before, like loans, mortgages, and investment products. They imagined beyond what was given to them. In a similar vein, but a different industry, New York Health Information Exchange used the InterSystems HealthShare platform to underpin a complete transformation of their public health system. I picked out just one case of how this transformation had positively impacted the citizens of New York. They told us that HealthShare had enabled them in near real time to detect that people were presenting in the various emergency departments across the region with common symptoms, those of food poisoning, and that this was due to a common source of salmonella. They were able to trace this to a particular restaurant, locate it, and close it down within 4 hours, thus preventing further infection and limiting serious harm or even death. An example of decision-making as a process of elimination. So, as these examples demonstrate, transformation is not just about marginal improvement, it's about fundamentally the way we work, fundamentally changing the way we work. At InterSystems, we like to think of ourselves as enablers, enabling you, our customers, to make transformational decisions at every level in your organization to better serve you and your customers. By using data to fix one problem, you also reveal new opportunities, things that never existed before. Enabling the possible out of the non-existence is the essence of true transformation. I can recount numerous stories of where InterSystems technology and solutions have been used to trigger innovation and drive business transformation. But as I mentioned earlier, innovation and transformation are difficult and they can be scary. And this is where the value of long-term sustainable partnerships is crucial. At the InterSystems Global Summit earlier this year, our founder and CEO, Terry Reagan, restated his view that companies stay successful when they share a vision, have a passion for everything they do, and remain focused on their purpose. Vision, passion, focus. One of the major tenets of the way that InterSystems does its business is through true partnership. It's part of our philosophy, it's baked in. It's why we remain a private company, because we're partnered with our customers, you, not the stock exchange. It's why we focused on mastering the data management and integration foundations that underpin the transformational platforms and applications of you, our partners. It's often having the right partners in place that enables real innovation and transformation above the line of sight. In other words, when partnership foundations are solid and dependable, everything becomes possible. Now, you wouldn't want to climb a mountain on your own, would you? Or at least I wouldn't. A few years ago, our guest speaker at an event like this was Cathy O'Dowd, the first woman to climb Everest. By the way, both the north and south faces, quite a feat. Her lessons came to my mind when I was putting this presentation together and remain applicable today. I noted a few things down. Climbing alone is perilous. You need partners you can trust. The camps that break the ascent into sections offer more than opportunities to rest and manage resources. Once you establish a camp, you have to acclimatize and not rush to the next goal. The camp helps you to visualize your challenges from a different perspective, and it gives you the opportunity to pivot. And sometimes, finally, that you need to go together as a team, either i.e. all together to meet the challenge, while at other times most able folks are put forward to sprint and the rest return to lower camps. A few years ago, I was speaking with an executive who joined InterSystems after many years with a customer of ours, and I asked him the question, what was it like to be a customer of InterSystems? It seems that what stood out was not only our great technology and solutions, it was on the occasions that he needed urgent business assistance. No matter what time of night or day, we'd helped him immediately and without question, recognizing the urgency of the situation and they had to deal with an emergency. It seems in similar circumstances, his other suppliers had asked him for a purchase order before offering to get involved. Now imagine for a moment you were Cathy O'Dowd and her team, and God forbid the road snapped, you wouldn't want to hear a Sherpa saying, "Can you just raise a purchase order for me, Kathy, and I'll go and requisition a new rope." Today I've highlighted two Latin words, decide and data. Before I close, I just want to bring in one more much-used Latin phrase, carpe diem, seize the day. Most of us know that phrase and have used it. What I didn't know, though, till I looked it up, was the rest of the phrase. Carpe diem quam minimum credula postiro. Carpe diem quam minimum credula postiro. No, not a Harry Potter spell. I'm not a Latin scholar, by the way, but to others in the audience who also aren't, what it literally means is seize the day, trusting as little as possible in tomorrow. Trusting as little as possible in tomorrow. In other words, innovation starts right here, right now. We have with us an amazing gathering of individuals. When you challenge yourself and look at how you make the simplest decisions, real transformation starts to become possible. If you look around in the world today, you see deep cyclical and structural changes that are altering reality out of all recognition. But the basics never change: leadership and teamwork. Over the course of today and tomorrow, we'll hear from leaders, we'll hear from teams, from the enablers. InterSystems is extremely fortunate to have such partners of transformation with us, and we embrace the new world of innovation. Thanks again for finding the time in the midst of your own decision intensity to celebrate and explore these topics with us. So let's start now. Let's seize the day together. Carpe diem. Thank you very much.